Do not search a zero with a slash on the deep web. YouTube is a weird place. When it started, we were pretty much able to just upload anything except porn, which was fine because I didn't do anything like that. The fun of it was all the weird videos, usually art or video projects, that people would upload pretending they were horror stories or scary events. Most were just fake nonsense, although some have downright crazy backstories. Some of the videos were held out in the woods or had weird characters. Rubber Johnny was one of them. I think I first watched Rubber Johnny on MySpace, but of course MySpace isn't the same as it used to be. I'm not even sure which came first, but some of these old weird videos date even back to the 90s before MySpace and YouTube. The aliens from Area 51, that sort of thing. Back in the good old days of the internet, before the annoying sites like Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and the other social media websites. If you were part of a forum, you were part of a family, it seemed. It's not like that any longer. Now these websites control everything you do and watch every move you make. Your neighbor can report you for saying something stupid, and your boss knows your every move. Honestly, it's very disturbing. Back then, weird videos were a dime a dozen. They weren't censored as much, and finding them through Yahoo or wherever was pretty easy. A lot of it was word of mouth via email or IRC. These days, however, it's harder to find videos because many sites try to do whatever the politically correct thing is, or whatever the government wants them to, and blocks scary stuff and weird videos. But there are ways to get around the blocks from searching. But do you really want to find those videos? If you pay attention, you can find them. They use certain phrases or characters that is harder for the search engines to detect. Eventually, it will be found out and a new character will be used when the damage has been done. There is one phrase or character that should never be searched on, and that is the number 0 with a slash through it. This character is usually used as a null character or in a foreign language such as Danish and Norwegian, and has the sound of "ugh." But it also has a darker theme to it and is exposed right out there on the surface web on sites such as YouTube and Reddit. We know the deep web exists on many different platforms over your browser. You don't have to get to the deep web through Tor. It's not the dark web. You get it through your normal everyday browser and network. The websites are just more or less hidden. It's the same for the deeper videos on YouTube. Supposedly, videos using characters such as the 0 with a slash, null, or full stop punctuation, such as a period, are intentionally done so they are not easily found with the bots, and most people cannot find them or know to search for it. That is until recently when people started talking about them. These days, a lot of it is just clickbait. They'll take scary clips of pictures and videos and piece them together to make one big spooky video and slap a disturbing thumbnail on it. More often than not, the creators just want to do a clickbait thing on you to get subscribers and put up this disturbing picture they got from some crime scene, then rickroll you with it or add some lame video of an animal. Since I am a really curious person, I love searching for weird stuff. I enjoyed the crazy college videos before they became some sort of money-making machine, where we could only watch goofy or creepy videos made by students or just weird people like me. No one charged, so it wasn't as professional. It made it more fun. Now we have these social media sites banning many of these videos because they claim they're not good for us to watch, so they censor the content. It's disgusting. It takes away all of the fun. You still can find the stuff, but do you really want to? After a few days ago, I will never try again. See, I'm in hiding right now. I tossed my iPhone and I bought a burner phone. I'm sending this in to this website because I'm scared. I took out all of the cash in my bank accounts and went on the road in a car I bought off this old guy for a couple grand. No one knows where I am, not even my parents or my job. I've been working on the road to make ends meet, but I don't even know how I'll get my money out of the bank because I don't want to be found. I started searching on the zero with a slash character after seeing a video about it. Most of the videos were nonsense videos. It was obvious they were fake and people just added a lot of fun, silly content. I didn't see anything too scary until I got around to the third page of another character from the Greek alphabet, because obviously I tried all of them to see what I could find. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I can't. I don't want to lead you down the wrong path of doom. The thumbnails were horrendous and gory, but I just couldn't help myself to click. At first, I didn't know why they used the character, but then I realized for this demented person, it was similar to a pitchfork, like the symbol of the devil. And wow, did those videos look like something from the devil himself. There were kidnappings, murders, senseless crimes, and even people confessing to doing crimes. Some people hurt themselves, while on other videos people hurt each other. There were fights between people and countries with death and dismemberment, terrorist scenes, animal and human snuff. But I was addicted. Part of my brain told me they were all fake horror movies, while the other side, the logical side, kept telling me there were no way many of these were fake. I would stay up all night and day to watch. This was during COVID, so I didn't have to get up and go to work. I had my computer right on my lap and my personal laptop on my left. If a call came in, I'd take it, and then I'd go right back to watching these videos. I had to do it fast because many of the videos would quickly disappear. I did hear from another watcher that many of the videos came from recruiting sites, from organized gangs or terrorists from overseas, but even that didn't stop me. Some of them didn't look like gangster videos. They looked weird. They looked more supernatural or paranormal than gangsters or terrorists. I soon started missing work calls. I would always have an excuse, but management was getting mad at me. They eventually fired me, and all that I had left was my personal computer. Jobless, I started working online for random jobs. I'd write reviews for software companies and make $10 here or there. I did a lot of book reviews and pimping out links for other companies to the large social media base I grew while I was employed. I started watching those weird zero with a slash videos on YouTube, and I watched one video where they said I could recruit people and make $100 for each sign-up. Now that was cool. It all seemed legit. I filled out a form that asked for all of my information, including my social security number. People in the comments were bragging about how much money they made in their own videos. I jumped at the chance. All I had to do was find people looking for jobs and send them to this job site. Then something weird happened. I had a close friend who lost his job, and I emailed him the link to help him out. I figured he needed it. In a way, I felt like a headhunter because I got $100 every time someone took the job. Most people I sent the link to didn't seem to do anything with it. I think they just tossed it because they were employed, but he was desperate like I was. He thanked me 1,000,000 times, and that was the last I heard from him, until recently. I awoke to watch my normal stream of videos, and what I saw will disturb me forever. It gives me nightmares still to this day. When I was going through the videos of the day, I came across a thumbnail that looked like my friend. It was a picture of a man on a table looking at the camera. His eyes were open and his body was covered in a sheet. One of his arms hung down from the side, and there was blood dripping from the finger into a pool of red liquid on the floor. I can only assume that it was his blood. The image stared at me with opaque eyes. I clicked. It went off to another website. I'm not even sure how it did that, but it did. I was no longer on the main site. The video started in a room with a clean table. A man who appeared to be my friend was led to the table and told to undress, then to put on the white blanket over his legs as he sat on the bed. He did. As I looked around the room, I noticed that behind the table there was a large black size symbol attached to the wall, the same symbol as the account I'm watching the videos on. It was a bit weird, to say the least. The size symbol on the wall looked more like a devil's pitchfork than anything. I watched as they pushed a needle into his arm and his body went limp. I could see in his eyes that he was still awake. The assistant, who was dressed in all black and wore a black and gold Volto mask, moved a tray full of medical instruments to the side of the table where he was standing. The other person, wearing a blue surgical mask and thick-rimmed black surgical glasses that looked more like a Buddy Holly prop, asked for a scalpel and turned to the camera. I will never forget his eyes. They were big bulbs of blackness. There was no sclera at all, just deep pools of black. Then he smiled. I'm not sure which was more alarming, the weird alien-looking eyes or his stained and rotted teeth. Were they even teeth? I don't know. Most were cracked and broken. Some were gray, like he had too much fluoride in the water, and others were yellow and stained. Where some teeth should have been, there were metal posts. No, not posts. These were nails with sharp ends. I wasn't sure at first, but at times when he looked up, I could see the head of the nail in his jawline. His front two teeth were nails, and I'm sure they came down through his nostrils. His distorted laughter beckoned me to watch more, and I couldn't turn away. I watched his dirty, cracked fingers grab tools out of the hands of his feminine assistant like a greedy pig. Underneath the giggles and demands for tools, I could hear my friend sobbing. I didn't understand. The thumbnail looked like my friend, but looked like he was already dead, but he wasn't. I had to stop this. I picked up the phone and dialed 911, but as I did, the mad doctor turned around and stared at me. He wagged his pruned finger at me and shook his head. How did he know? The video wasn't live, it was already recorded. I noticed the mic was still attached to my computer and I yanked it out of the USB port. The man tilted his head with a sad look in his eyes, and as I listened to the emergency operator ask the first few questions, I watched as he began to dip the scalpel into the top of my friend's chest and slide it all the way down to his groin. Numbers began popping up on the screen. Dollar amounts. 5,000 was the first. As the numbers came in, blood pooled down his finger and onto the floor, just like in the picture. 10,000, 30,000, $150,000. The doctor laughed and clicked a button in the computer asking if there were any more bids. The bid stopped at $150,000. The emergency operator's voice echoed into my ear waiting for a response, but I couldn't speak. The words just choked out of my mouth and I hung up. My friend was dead, and the screen went blank. Moments later, the police showed up and asked what the call was about. I tried to tell them, but they thought it was all a joke. They wanted to fine me for the call, but said that only if it happened again could they do it. I swear it wasn't a joke. It was real. I wasn't on any drugs. I saw the whole thing. But the links I used wouldn't come back up. The search on the video site was gone. The website was down. At least it was until a few days later. I got a message on my phone with a link to click and check my bank account. It seemed to be from the same bank I used, so I clicked on it. What came up was not from my bank app, but a website. It was a video of some guy who had been beaten so badly that his eyes were purple and swollen. His lips were torn and fat. He had knife gashes on his bare legs and his shirt was torn. He was wearing his boxers and socks. He held up a piece of paper that had a 0 with a slash through it. Then the guy in the mask came out from around the corner and stabbed this man in the gut several times until he just fell over. The man behind the mask then spoke with a thick accent. I couldn't tell where he was from, only that he had darker skin and his accent was heavy. His hair was dark too. He said, "Do not take pictures of this, and if you have, delete them. I will know, and then I will come for you. I know where you live. I know your name. I know where your family lives. I will start with your mother first and then your sisters. Then I will get to you and your father. Do not even try to contact me, and do not ever tell anyone again. They will not believe you, but I will know." After that, I took the phone out to the garage and smashed it with a hammer and then tossed it. I took the SIM card out and the disc out and smashed those as well and put them in different garbage bins at the store. I know someone followed me there. I walked and a big black SUV with dark tinted windows was parked near my house. When I got to the store, I saw it drive by, then saw it again that night. It comes by every so often, but I stay off the internet. I bought a new phone and put it under a fake name, and then the car. I'm sure they still know I use it, though, because they're out there waiting for me to mess up. They follow me around in this new car, and I'm scared. I'm just hoping that one day they move on to someone else. I don't even call my family anymore. I send them handwritten letters. Sometimes I get to my P.O. box and nothing has come in, and I'm sure that someone is stealing the mail. I'll get the letters back a few days later that look like they have been opened or readdressed by a different person. They're watching everyone I know and every move I make. Whatever you do, do not search anywhere for anything that has a 0 with a slash in it.